who would you say was your biggest influence as a musical artist growing up?
For growing up, I was really into Susie and the Banshees and Japan, Yaz, and Blondie.
I was a big fan. I'm a big fan of Paul Simon.
Can you tell us what fans can expect from your new album, The Violet Flame?
It's one of our more up-tempo kind of, some people say return to form albums. It's very optimistic, very quite dancey, and
It's full of electronic magicry.
yeah.
So you just recently came from Denver and Salt Lake City. Now, I don't know how long you've been here in Vegas today, but what makes playing Las Vegas different than any other city that you've played?
I think you kind of, I mean, it's probably our third or fourth time that we played here.
Mm.
And we didn't naturally have an audience here, so I think we've kind of built it up over the time. And, it feels quite satisfying because, Vegas is kind of like a play all as a city where everybody comes to. It's kind of one of those places where you feel like if you've played here, you kind of made it to a certain extent.
Mm. Yeah. I think it's also interesting because it's like we're part of, I guess, more of an alternative culture. Most of the shows that go on in Vegas are kind of like Hollywood style,
Mainstream, yeah.
mainstream stuff, and so there's obviously an alternative audience here also. So it's quite good to connect to those people.
So the Pearl is known as an intimate venue with great acoustics, and you've played here before. What are your impressions of the Pearl as compared to other concert venues that you tour to?
Well, we just had the sound check, and the sound was quite amazing on the stage. Usually, you have to have it quite loud, but here it didn't. I have my volume turned down slightly. I don't know whether that's to do with acoustics.
Yeah, I think it's to do with the acoustics, and also this. I'm glad that they've got a non-seated area as well. I think that gives, if people want it, then it gives them a chance to dance. So I think that always makes for a good, fun show.
So if you could play or collaborate with any other musical artist, whether current or past, who would it be and why?
I'd quite like to do a duet with Debbie Harry, only because I'm such a huge fan of hers, and I think we could make quite a good track together.
I'd quite like to do some music with Philip Glass, but like electronic, interesting.
So what's your favorite Blondie song then?
My favourite is Touched by Your Presence, Dear,
Okay.
which is quite old. But
And have you ever met her?
yeah, I met her quite a few times.
What stands out as your most memorable performance and why?
Probably maybe playing in Czechoslovakia
Yes,
in
Prague.
1988 or 9.
I don't know the year, but it was the same year that the communist government fell. So it was still a communist government when we were there, and so you couldn't buy a record there. People were just so there were like thousands of people at the show holding ghetto blasters for an hour and a half above their heads to record the show. It was like really just incredibly moving.
They were just letting anybody in, like everybody.
So how did that work that they didn't let people purchase your albums, but you were allowed to tour there? That's a kind of an interesting circumstance.
No, you couldn't buy records. Our record wasn't released there, so I guess there were some black market records, but other than that. And then of course, the feeling in the city was very strange because the government was about to fall, so there was this very weird buzz. You could just feel it. It was like electric.
So what makes your music so timeless?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's obviously we've enjoyed fantastic support from fans here in America and in Europe, who are incredibly loyal, and it seems that as long as we keep playing and performing and turning up, then people are out there to support us. And I think that's given us the longevity that we've had. It's down to them really. It's we do the music as best we can. We make the best records we possibly can, and then there's people out there that are interested in listening to it.
So if you could sum up being an international star in one word, what would that word be?
thrilling.
Lucky.